America becomes a greater nation, a stronger nation, when we stand together as one people, and in a very loud and clear voice, we say no to all forms of racism and bigotry. Today we have 11 million people in this country who are undocumented, 99% of whom came to this country to improve their lives, to escape oppression, to flee desperate poverty and violence. Let us be frank. Today's undocumented workers play an extraordinarily important role in our economy. Undocumented workers are doing the extremely difficult work of harvesting our crops, building our homes, cooking our meals, and caring for our children. They are part of the fabric of America. Let me also be very clear that people came to this country because they knew that there were jobs here, and if anyone thinks that employers throughout this country did not know that the workers they were hiring were undocumented, they know nothing about what has gone on in this country for 50 years. So that people can have the protection of the law and participate fully and openly in American society. The Senate bill contained the provisions of the DREAM Act, which I strongly support and which would offer the opportunity of permanent residency and eventual citizenship to young people who are brought to the United States as children. It is my belief that we should recognize the young men and women who comprise the Dreamers for what they are, American kids who deserve the right to legally be in the country they know as home. I believe the pathway to citizenship was unnecessarily linked to border security triggers, measures that many believe were put in place so that the path to citizenship would be delayed or even denied for the millions of undocumented individuals here, and I want to change those provisions. We must be aggressive in pursuing policies that are humane and sensible and that keep families together. And while millions of Americans are working longer hours for lower wages, there is another reality that we have got to put on the table, and that is that almost all of the new wealth and income being created in America today in the last many years has gone to the top 1%. And that's wrong. It is not acceptable that we have today the highest rate of income and wealth inequality at a time when millions of Americans work longer hours for lower wages, and we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth. It is not acceptable that youth unemployment in this country has reached tragic proportions. The Economic Policy Institute recently told us that if you look at young people from 17 to 20 who are either unemployed or working part-time when they want to work full-time or have given up looking for work, for white kids, that number is 33%. For Hispanic kids, it is 36%. For African American kids, it is 51%. That is unacceptable. And maybe, just maybe, instead of building more jails and locking up more people, maybe, just maybe, we should be investing in jobs and education for our young people. I want America to be known as the country with the best educated population in the world, not the country with more people in jail than any other country. We need to raise the minimum wage, which today is a starvation wage of $7.25 to $15 an hour, so that anyone who works in this country does not live in poverty. Today in America, we have the shameful situation of hundreds of thousands of bright, qualified young people who want to go to college but who can't go to college because their families do not have enough money. That is grossly unfair to those young people, and it is grossly unfair and dumb for the future of the American economy. And that is why I have introduced legislation which would make public colleges and public universities tuition-free. The United States is the only major industrialized country that does not guarantee medical and parental leave for its people. That's wrong. When a woman has a baby, regardless of her income, she should be able to stay home with that baby and not be forced to go back to work. Every other major industrialized country guarantees health care to all of its people as a right, and so should we in the United States of America. To create the greatest country that anyone has ever seen, a country which works for all of our people, and we do it when we stand together and we do not allow people to divide us, divide us, divide us. Thank you all very much.
NASA has named the 4 astronauts who will embark on the first test flights of SpaceX and Boeing's commercial crew spacecraft. Astronauts Bob Behnken, Eric Bowe, Doug Hurley and Sunita Williams.